Good evening. I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair will present the annual budget to Parliament on Tuesday, May 30th at 4 p.m. This was announced this afternoon by Leader of Government Business John Boyce, while moving the adjournment of the House of Assembly until that date. Speaking to the media before the announcement, Mr. Sinclair said the proposals will not be affected by the fact that general elections are near. He stresses government is responsible and the proposals will reflect circumstances in the country.
You shouldn't allow anybody to tell you that, election is coming, or that, it is time for things to be given away and stuff. You can't give away what you don't have.
So there'll be so that's it. No giveaways. Huh? That's a soundbite you're taking.
I actually don't. Giveaways. But I actually don't like the term. I don't like the term. Yeah. You can't.
Election budget.
The money and the resources and the wealth of the country belong to the people. You can't give it. It's government. It's not the government. So on it, or some parties on you giving to people. You're not giving anybody anything.
No, but you do.
You mean sharing. You don't mean giving.
Some governments do. In time of election, do have an election.
Yeah,
so you're giving us the assurance now that
people still have those things. I don't know that thing still exists.
He was speaking to the media at Casa Grande, where he held his annual treat for approximately 300 Class 4 students from his constituency. Some of the students spoke to us about the event. Well, Attorney General and Minister of Home Affairs Adriel Brathwaite expects the training capacity of the Barbados Fire Service will be enhanced with the new Barbados Fire Academy. The state-of-the-art facility is located at the newly renovated Arch Hall Fire Station in St. Thomas. Previous training was done at the Fire Service's Probin Street City headquarters.
In the old days, they used to take in about 35 individuals and train them, and when the opportunities arose, they would bring them into the service. But we're placing more emphasis also on continuous training. So the facility has been enhanced to provide some dorms, so you can have also some in-house training, both male and female. I believe that the capacity is probably about 50 or 60 in the training room. We want to have not only training for Barbadian fire officers, but we want to have training for our brothers and sisters in the OECS in particular.
Meanwhile, consideration is being given to relocating the Western Fire Station in St. James. Mr. Brathwaite says the facility is in poor condition and cannot be expanded.
We have looked at 3 areas. We looked, as I said previously, we looked at one towards the end of the highway ready skills training, now utilized. We looked at one further across by St. Lucie, by the park there. We have not found the ideal solution. That's by Nestfield. Yes, we actually thought that we had found the solution, but then we were told by the Ministry of Housing that in fact that the space would not be adequate and stuff, right? But in the meantime, where resources are available, we have to do some renovations to Weston. But as I said, the ideal situation is that we're going to build out a new facility.
The minister assured the area will be covered by the reopened Arch Hall St. Thomas Station in St. Thomas. He adds, with rapid development in St. Philip, consideration has been given to reconstructing a fire station in that parish.
We've identified some land in 6 rows. Again, as soon as the resources are available, we will have that done and stuff. Our idea, as has happened at Arch Hall, is that we're going to have multi-purpose facilities, so that at Arch Hall, the present plan is that we're going to have a couple of ambulances that can be dispatched from there.
Health Minister John Boyce says the proposed redevelopment at Arch Hall has included the provision of significant facilities for training of emergency ambulance services personnel. He says the temporary location of the decentralized ambulance unit is vital.
Be able to take care of an accident within the first hour, an incident within the first hour of an injury. That is the greatest opportunity for having a successful outcome. If we're in a situation where all of our responses originate in Bridgetown or at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital itself, well then we will not be able to serve our outlying areas like St. John, Madam Deputy Speaker, where you represent, or St. Philip, or St. Lucy, and these other outlying parishes, indeed St. Thomas, from a central location in Bridgetown as effectively as we can serve them from in a decentralized operational environment.
We're also hearing of bigger plans for the Arch Hall St. Thomas area. Government has vested 1,038 square meters of land to the National Housing Corporation for residential purposes. Housing Minister Dennis Kelman has told Parliament government will always be looking to develop areas where there will be private sector buy-in.
Just west of this property and the property that runs across the highway, that there's also the area called Old Town and Sunset Crest. And everybody knows the amount of capital, and this is not buildings now, this is in terms of money that can be found in that particular area. And we must do the development in such a way that these areas can attract some of those persons living and investing in those areas and who need to expand their investment to move them further up the hill.
MP for St. James Central, Carrie Simmons, in whose constituency the land is situated, supports the venture. However, the opposition MP raised concerns by residents, including access to the hard courts at the fire station.
There is a serious shortage of sporting facilities in the area. If you think about the geography, ma'am, Arch Hall itself and Bennett's lies perhaps 2 miles away from the Bagatelle playing field, which would be going south. It is not a desirable thing to have little children 9 years old, 10 years old, walking along a highway of that magnitude for that distance in order to find a place to recreate themselves.
The president of the Barbados Nurses Association wants a separate school to train people in the profession. Joanna Waterman says while the shortage of nurses has been a concern for some time, many are still interested in jobs in the field. She says a major problem is the failure rate of student nurses, but that can be addressed if the right resources are put in place, starting with a school. The nursing program is now being offered by the Barbados Community College.
So that they can be better focused in terms of the finances that are required and the autonomy that is required to push. Just like you have a hospitality school in the college, we have been pushing to have our own autonomous school where you have a particular focus rather than just being a department where it's like you're just a small pot inside all the other ingredients, yeah? So we want to have a focus for nursing where you can address nursing's issues in particular, rather than just as a pool of persons.
Ms. Waterman's comments come as local nurses join their colleagues around the world to celebrate International Nurses Day. She says nurses continue to make an invaluable contribution to society.
This contribution is in large part responsible for the standards of healthcare enjoyed by Barbadians today. And just also with respect to the theme, to say that nurses practice right across varied settings in Barbados. The generalist nurses certainly and the public health nurses contribute to these sustainable development goals with the various practices of health education, etc., as well as the midwives, certainly with their protocols and practices, contributed to the reduction of maternal and infant mortality, and the community mental health nurses.
Police are investigating the discovery of skeletal remains behind a house in Marchfield, St. Philip. Police Public Relations Officer Acting Inspector Roland Cobbler says the bones were discovered around 8 this morning.
Preliminary investigations reveal that the owner of a residence here at Marchfield is in the process of having some construction work done on the property. During excavation by workmen on the site, the skeletal remains were discovered. Deputy Director of the Museum and Historical Society, Kevin Farmer, is suggesting that these remains appear to be human, but further tests must be conducted to confirm this. He's also suggesting that these remains appear to be historic. Our investigations are continuing.
A St. George man who was taken to the QEH by private transport has died from gunshot injuries, and police are trying to determine how 30-year-old Marvin Marcus Victor of Airy Hill, St. George met his death. He was shot while at Brighton in the same parish on Wednesday afternoon. Police were notified by hospital officials that Victor had been brought there by private vehicle. The young man was admitted but succumbed to his injuries yesterday. Anyone with information that could help with this investigation should contact the nearest police station. And a cyclist is the island's latest road fatality. 49-year-old David Ronnie Arthur of Stadium Road, Bush Hall, St. Michael, died from his injuries days after he was involved in a collision with a motor truck. That accident happened along Bank Hall Main Road around 8 on Sunday night. The vehicle was driven by 55-year-old Winston Maskell of Deacon's Farm, St. Michael. Arthur sustained head injuries and was transported to hospital by ambulance for medical treatment. He passed away on Wednesday. Police are also appealing to anyone who may have witnessed that accident to contact the nearest police station. When the viewing of the body of Tony Barrow was held this evening at St. Helen's Sons Funeral Home in Bush Hall, St. Michael, family, friends, and curious onlookers saw something they've never seen before in Barbados. Tony Barrow loved to ride her bike, so those who turned up for her wake today were able to remember her in that way, sitting still on her bike in the funeral parlor. Over a week ago, the 43-year-old was riding her motorcycle along Barbary Hill when she lost control, hit the sidewalk, and fell off, her body landing in the drain next to the road. It is still unknown what caused her to lose control of the cycle. Daughter Shade Harris says this is what her mother would have wanted.
It's something that my mom always wanted. She wanted to be cremated, and she always had a love for motorcycles, and so she told me that she wanted to be buried on her bike.
Her sister Donna Worrell says they shared an unbreakable relationship.
We had a wonderful relationship, teasing. I used to tease things from her. She would find them back. I used to put them on the pillow, and she would come and find the stuff. And it's like real touchable moments. We used to do a lot of things together coming up.
Funeral director Brian Bentham says this is the first time anything like this has happened in Barbados.
It's something I always wanted to do. I don't see why you have to put a body in a casket if the hands collapse. The family said she was a motorcycle person, so I asked them if it would be okay if we put her on the motorcycle, and they said yes. It's a lot of work. The hard thing is to get the person balanced and to look comfortable. It's not easy.
Mrs. Barrow's daughter left Barbadians with this sobering message.
I would like everyone to please take it easy on the road. Watch out for pedestrians. Just take it easy. Be careful. Be vigilant. And have concern for other people too as well.
Okay, we'll take a short break here and come back with more news.
Tough steel roofing,
Permaclad,
in vibrant colors,
Color Clash,
standing seam,
Permacene,
locking seams,
Permalock,
hurricane shutters,
Permashield,
seamless gutters,
Permaflow,
reinforcement,
Rebar,
custom made,
cut and bent,
foundations,
welded wire mesh,
stronger block walls,
brick force,
stronger roofs,
hurricane straps,
fencing too.
galvanized mesh.
With BRC you'll soon discover, top to bottom we've got you covered, tougher, stronger, lasting longer, BRC.
The fun continues with Liat, the Caribbean Airlines peek into summer, because now you have more time to book. Book any flight from now until May 14th for 25% off all Liat fares for travel from now until November 15th. That's 7 more days, so make sure to book on or before May 14th. Use promo code PEEK for this sweet summer deal of 25% off. Call our reservations department, your local travel agent, or visit liat.com to book. Don't delay, book today.
Premium, stable, trustworthy. Your companion providing quality entertainment. We are MCTV, the right choice.
At least 3 schools had to be closed early today after a number of teachers did not show up for duty. CBC understands Grantley Adams Memorial, Combermere, and the Lodge School were all affected. However, the number of teachers missing from those institutions could not be ascertained. President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, Mary Ann Redmond, says they're not aware of any industrial action, but they are investigating.
However, if teachers are in fact sick or otherwise distressed, we don't know, for example, if they're sick of not having their issues addressed. We don't know if they're sick of not having their fundamental rights to be heard violated. We don't know if they're sick of unfair dismissals with no opportunity to access their rights to the principles of natural justice. We don't know if they are sick of boards of management and ministry officials violating the laws of Barbados and not following the legislated grievance procedure. We don't know if they're sick of working in sick environments that are making them sick. We don't know if they're sick of exposure to violence in their work environment, with no indication of serious action being taken to address this.
Farmers from the Gibbons Boggs area are once again speaking out against the conditions they are facing. Those whose lands have been contaminated by a Sol pipeline leak were given the opportunity by attorney-at-law Andrew Pilgrim to voice their concerns.
Many of the farmers believe although the pipelines were closed since 2006, their water is still contaminated. One farmer, Winfred Lagabe, gave a visual representation of the kind of pumpkin she should be getting versus what she has been yielding. She says more often than not, she makes a loss.
The results I get, I happen to have some of my records here. You will find that I'm not balancing. In most cases, I don't balance. I don't break even.
Back in 2010, Sol made a settlement with a number of farmers in the area. However, farmer Douglas Burrows says the company was also to bring experts to address their land woes, something that has not been done to this day.
To date, the only persons that I have seen that resemble any type of experts were persons that were blocking up the boreholes, the actual holes that you dig to do testing, underground testing of the water. I have seen no other person from Shell nor the ministry.
Farmer Andrew Paris says the leak has not only crushed his livelihood, but he believes it is having an impact on the health of those living in the area.
We heard that the gas was leaking out of a main impacted about Jet A1 fluid for over 15 years, and the government told us nothing about it. Nothing whatsoever. My mom died of cancer. My dad died of cancer. Jet A1 fluid is the most dangerous fluid to be leaking anywhere, especially in a residential area or a farming community.
Attorney-at-law Ernest Jackman, who has been involved in the case from the beginning, explained where the matter is with the second group of farmers in the courts.
And the last thing that occurred is that it was heard by Justice Crane Scott, and after Crane Scott left, resigned and went to work in another jurisdiction, we've not been able to get it brought back on for hearing.
With no faith that the land can be saved, many of the farmers are hoping for a settlement from Sol so they can leave. Tristan Ward, CBC News.
Product Destination Manager with the UK-based Fun Holidays and My Caribbean Holidays, Malcolm Davies, says branded properties have helped to market Barbados.
This is such a traditional market that many people know the hotels here. Sandals, of course, Waves, Elegant Hotels, for example. They're all very popular brands. But we also, too, we sell smaller properties. Hilton here is doing very well for us. Maybe not the first hotel that would come to mind for leisure clients, perhaps, but certainly it's doing very well. And we're very excited to see properties, groups like Wyndham and Hyatt coming to the island.
With several new hotels coming on stream, the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association remains highly optimistic about the benefits to the local tourism industry. Among them, the Sands, located on the south coast, which CEO Rudy Grant hopes will be opened this year. Mr. Grant updated visiting tour operators and travel agents who sell the Barbados brand on the latest with the pending properties. Dozens are on island for Connect Barbados, the premier business-to-business marketplace event for tour operators. Work should also commence on the Wyndham, Sandlords, and others.
We also have in historic Bridgetown the Hyatt Centric, which is a 12-story tower, 190-room hotel. And we are very excited about this property coming to Barbados. And on the west coast, there's Settlers Barbados, which is a future development that we are anticipating. And we also have Sandals Beaches Resort. And we are excited about this 400-room all-inclusive property, and this is estimated to be opened in 2018.
Mr. Grant also gave the thumbs up to ongoing hotel renovations and refurbishments.
Sugarcane Club, located on the west coast, they're building additional suites, extension to the restaurant, putting in some additional elements for the suites as well, and upgrading the backhouse kitchen. Cobbler's Cove, also located on the west coast, having a full refurbishment of 36 of their rooms, refurbishment of the reception and arrival area as well. We also have Divi South Winds, located on the south coast, and Divi is going through a major refurbishment this year.
Arawak Cement Limited is the latest entry in the ready-mix cement market. Marketing manager Juan Bodeja says the move by the cement manufacturer is a signal of its commitment to building a stronger Barbados. He has stressed that Arawak Cement is here for the long haul.
This is an exciting development for Arawak, using its own locally made cement and utilizing new technologies and expertise from Cemex to make Barbadian concrete the highest quality. As is the policy of Cemex wherever it operates, Arawak has placed considerable emphasis on having a safe and secure operation and engaging with the Barbadian community.
Lawrence Tigay Primary celebrated its 35th anniversary with students and teachers saluting the many achievements of the St. Michael Institution. We hear more in this report from Kishmar Sinjus.
Tigay can boast proudly of staying true to its mission. This is evident in the present student body and alumni. Today, students, teachers, and well-wishers attended a special service in recognition of its 35th anniversary. Pastor of the Calvary and Grace Hill Moravian Churches, Reverend Dr. Adrian Smith, encouraged students to always give their best.
I need you to shine fearlessly. Hear what the text says. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. You do not light a lampstand to hide it. And so, children, if God has wired you and you are bright, shine brightly.
Principal Beverly Paris highlighted two notable achievements: the establishment of a library and the orchestra. Ms. Paris says the school is proud of its prominent alumni.
Shamar Holder, who was a member of the victorious under-19 cricket team in Bangladesh. There's Dawn Marie Fields, who's an exhibition winner, and her mother is still a member of the school staff. We have Janelle Johnson, a mortician in the USA. Christopher Ross Fields, also an exhibition winner and sister of Dawn Marie. Dr. Lisa Bell, a consultant at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, catering to kidneys specifically. Nathan Crawford Wallace, still a member of the Christchurch Foundation School, a Blackpool dancing champion. Pastor John Yard, Rashid Hughes and Rashawn Lachman, both jockeys. Ryan Brathwaite, the athlete.
A mural by artist Patrick Craigwell was later unveiled. The piece was completed in about 4 days.
Concepted this mural for the Lawrence Teague School was a job given to me by Christopher Griffith, of whom we sat together and we did the concept through sports, opportunities, through culture and through care. And we looked at the opportunities that these children would have been exposed to and not given the opportunities during their lives. So, as I said, once it is art, you can call me. I'm there. I'm ready to be willing to paint and do something for the society.
Other activities for the 35th anniversary include a school fair, an awards luncheon, and a bus ride. Kishma Senjis, Cbc News.
After the break, we'll take a look at stories making headlines across our region.
When it comes to your family, what do you dream of? Enjoying the sights of Italy, seeing the Eiffel Tower for the first time, or experiencing the cuisine of Spain? Quartz can make your family dream come true. Shop at Quartz for a chance to win a dream cruise for a family of 4. Spend $999 or over at any Quartz store or online at shopquartz.com. Every $100 gets you a chance to win that cruise to give you more fun time with your family by cruising the Mediterranean, a value of over $20,000. So stop dreaming and start shopping to make your dream come true at Quartz, bringing value home.
From June 6 to 12, Barbados, in partnership with the United States Southern Command, will host Exercise Tradewinds, the largest regional multi-agency disaster management exercise held in the Caribbean. It will offer unique training opportunities to assist emergency management responders in improving regional cooperation, military and civilian interaction, and national and regional capabilities.
Tradewinds 2017, a seamless states partnership for a secure region.
Dr. Hubert Minnis has been sworn in as the new Prime Minister of the Bahamas. He is the 4th Prime Minister of the CARICOM state. He took the oath in the presence of family and friends, members of the clergy, government officials, and party colleagues. Dr. Minnis led the Free National Movement to a landslide victory in Wednesday's general election, capturing 34 of the 39 seats at stake. In St. Lucia, debate on the 2017-2018 appropriation bill ended abruptly last night. In a stunning turn of events, Prime Minister Alan Chasney asked that the House be adjourned until June 20th. The move followed the contribution to the debate by Castries Southeast MP and Economic Development Minister Guy Joseph. His presentation capped off a day punctuated by partisan squabbling, interruptions, and admonishment from the House Speaker. Lawmakers throughout the session also engaged in a standoff, with some members refusing to debate the bill. Jamaica's Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says that contrary to what some ganja advocates have suggested, his ministry fully recognizes the medicinal value of marijuana. He says there is also economic potential.
We are actually pushing for the medicinal value of marijuana to be recognized as legitimate research, legitimate work, because there is a recognition on our part, as well as the medicinal community globally, that there is value. There's absolutely no disputing or no difference of opinion there as it relates to the Ministry of Health. And that needs to be very clear, that the perception being created seems to suggest otherwise.
The murder toll in St. Vincent and the Grenadines now stands at 10 after a man was gunned down late last night. The killing of the Otley Hall man is the 3rd murder for the week. Police say the minibus driver was shot multiple times in the chest as he was walking home. Disney Cruise Line will make its maiden trip to Bermuda in October 2018. The island is one of the 2 new ports the cruise line will be sailing to next year. The Disney Magic will operate from New York on 5-day sailings that include 2 full days in Bermuda and 6-day sailings that include 3 days in the country. From New York, the Disney Magic will also make 7-day round trips to Castaway Cay, Disney's private islands in the Bahamas, and Port Canaveral in Florida. A peek into the world of sports is just ahead, but before we get there, here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.